Unscripted.
You guys probably remember a while back I said, you know what, I don't trust any of these executives. I think that they're all in it for the money. They're all in it for themselves. And obviously we have that type of situation sort of rear its ugly head. And, you know, at the same time, I think that it's something that clearly a lot of people are going to be talking about. And, you know, I think that it's something that a lot of people are going to be, you know, kind of split. This is going to be one of those topics that you're going to probably see a split. And you might not even see a split 50-50, but you're going to see some kind of split, whether it's 70-30 or 80-20. There's going to be some kind of split there. And I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out long term. As for me personally, I feel like this news does take some shine off of it, but I'm going to get into a little bit of that a little bit later. If you guys are wondering what I'm kind of talking about here, Jim Ryan, the head of PlayStation, made a bunch of announcements today, but one of the main things that he announced was that a big group and contingent of PlayStation exclusives would be headed to PC. Now, a lot of people probably don't feel one way or the other about this. You know, some people are platform agnostic, and, you know, they will only buy a PlayStation to play, you know, the exclusives or whatever to begin with. So now those people will probably not buy a PlayStation, and they'll probably just wait for them to come to PC or whatever, which is another contingent. For someone like me, I despise PC gaming at its core. And I will never be a PC gamer, so I continue to buy consoles, and I guess so nothing much really changes for me personally, except for, you know, you get a little bit less of that kind of A-class feeling that this stuff comes out. So yeah, there is a little bit of that going on as well. So you know, I kind of wanted to get into this as quickly as possible because there is a lot to cover here, and I wanted to jump into it. So let's get started. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel, and it means a lot to me personally. If you're looking for a way to help out my little pissant channel, that's the best way to do it. And shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everybody in between. I think you guys are all great. Thank you guys very much for always rocking out with me. Again, I wanted to get into this as quick as possible because I got a pretty hot take on this. So Jim Ryan did a weird video, and I'm going to link this so you guys can check it out. So this is basically what it says. What about PlayStation games on PC? A whole slate of them is on the way, starting with Days Gone this spring. So again, that word right there, a whole slate of them is on the way this spring. And, you know, and then jumping right into what Jim Ryan says, I feel like that's something that you know, is obviously very much going to be a heated topic and something that a lot of people are going to be talking about for a long time. And, you know, again, this is something that I feel like people are going to have a very different opinion on. Some people are just going to be like, oh, you're overreacting, oh, you're this, you're that. For me personally, I think that it does take off some of that shine, and it does sort of take away some of that wow factor of a console. And, you know, and I still think that the console is still going to be needed. But here's a question that they asked in this interview. So releasing PlayStation games on PC was something that Sony PlayStation held back on for a long time. Now it sounds like you're very much on the bandwagon. What changed? And Jim Ryan's response was as followed. I think a few things changed. We find ourselves now in early 2021 with our development studios and the games that they make in better shape than they've ever been before, particularly from the latter half on the PlayStation 4 cycle. Our studios made some wonderful, great games. There's an opportunity to expose those great games to a wider audience and recognize the economics of game development, which are not always straightforward. The cost of making games goes up with each cycle as the caliber of the IP has improved. Also, our ease of making it available to non-console owners has grown. So it's a fairly straightforward process and decision for us to make. This is following on from their publishing of Horizon Zero Dawn on PC in August of last year, and they asked how that went. He says, we assess the exercise in two ways. Firstly, in terms of straightforward success of the activity of publishing a game on PC, people liked it and they bought it. We also looked at it through the lens of what PlayStation community thought about it. There was no massive adverse reaction to it, which I call BS to, so we will continue to take mission steps in this directions. So obviously, this is something that, you know, maybe they're a little bit off you know, with what they're talking about here. I think that clearly this is something that, for me personally, I feel like is a bit of a misstep. And I understand what the main thinking is right here, okay, right? So from the sounds of it, it sounds like, it's going to be old games. They're not going to be day and date, and that's good, like it's going to be like ports of PlayStation 4 games, you want to get, but at the same point, that means you can't go, well, Days Gone is exclusive, or Horizon Zero. Like, you literally have to throw the exclusive argument out of the door, because I think that it's going to be a situation, that really kind of represents the big change here, the big change that's coming. I mean, it starts with Days Gone. I mean, really, it started with Horizon Zero Dawn, so right away you can't list that game as a PlayStation exclusive, and you know that the sequel will probably go to PC at some point as well. Days Gone as well was a game that, and you can't really go, well, maybe those games sold poorly or whatever, because they're not. I mean, Days Gone supposedly sold 7 to 10 million in that range. Horizon Zero Dawn was in the 10 to 15 million range. I would imagine that Spider-Man's going to go to PC, and that's at the $20 million sold range. So again, you're going to see a bunch of these games go to PC, and it really does take away sort of that exclusive mentality. And again, I've stated this multiple times, because a lot of people go, well, exclusives are anti-consumer or stupid anyway. There shouldn't be exclusives, and I always point this out, okay? You have 3 consoles, okay? You have a Nintendo, you have a PlayStation, you have an Xbox. If all 3 of these consoles played the exact same games, how long do you think we would continue to have 3 consoles? Right? Like, we wouldn't have 3 consoles for very long, because if I could play Xbox games and Nintendo games on a PlayStation, that's what I would do. Okay, and probably, since PlayStation is the most popular brand, that's what 80% of people would do, which would mean Microsoft and Nintendo would stop creating consoles, and and they would be we'd be at Sony's mercy. There would only be one, and then without that competition, we would all be stuck in a situation where Sony could charge what they want, do what they want, and that's not good for anybody. Exclusives really push the industry. They they differentiate the consoles themselves from each other, and I understand that PC's different platform, and I'm fine with that, because listen, I was an Xbox fan for a long time, and even though people like to bring up something that happened in 2016, like me and Phil going at it over Quantum Break going to PC, it wasn't just because it was going to PC. It was because it was going to PC 3 weeks. They announced it 3 weeks away from launch, where for 3 years they called it an exclusive to Xbox. Okay, that's the huge difference. Xbox has always had games that were on PC and console. The Halo 1 and Halo 2, Gears 1. You just continue to kind of look at it that way. They've always had a lot. KOTOR. They always had a lot of games that were on both. That was not really my issue. Like, I do think that you need something specific to your platform to keep people vested and to keep people interested and to give people a reason to want your platform. But for me, it's almost like, look, Sony just posted their biggest, income revenue ever. Okay, their biggest ever. They basically are making what Nintendo and Xbox divisions are combined, and yet that's not enough. You know what I mean? I understand that the price of games are going up and stuff like that, but they're literally making more money than they ever have before. And so much like Microsoft trying to double the price of Xbox Live Gold, I feel like this is a bit of a misjudging the room and kind of reading the room wrong. And I do feel like that's kind of a mistake. At the end of the day, am I going to continue to buy PlayStation games? Yeah, I'm a console gamer. For the same reason I still buy Xbox and Xbox games, okay, is because I'm never going to be a PC gamer. I'm never going to be a cloud gamer, right? So the place for me to play are these consoles, and that's what I suspect most people will say and most people will do. But at some point, you have to realize Sony is pushing people, right? They're going to keep pushing it, right? It started off as, well, we want, we're going to put, a game here or there, maybe a multiplayer game on PC, right? And then, then it was a 3-year-old game, and now it's a 2-year-old game, and then next thing you know, it's a day and date game. And I think that that's probably where this is all headed, and I guess each of us has to kind of assess that and look at it, sort of as it is as a whole, and for me personally, is it going to stop me from gaming? No. Is it a little depressing? Yeah. for me personally, like as I get older, you know, as I approach that big 4-0, and I've been gaming since like the 1980s, you know, just a lot of this stuff, I'm a hardcore like old school type gamer, and a lot of this stuff I don't like, and so eventually at some point I'll probably either, you know, you either quit gaming or you game less, and I think that that's probably a closer reality for me personally, you know, and I do hope that, you know, at the end of the day that people actually go out there and sort of, you know, make up for yourself. But if you were complaining about what Xbox was doing, you know, I feel like this is something that you would complain about PlayStation doing, you know, and I know it's just PS4 games for right now, but at what point is it going to be, you know, PS5 games? And then it takes away a little bit of that speciality and that little bit of extra, you know, that good feeling of, you know, that I think a lot of us have when it comes to these platforms, you know. And I do hope that things change, and I do hope that things kind of continue to get better, but at the same time, you know, like I understand it from a business standpoint. Trust me, I completely understand it. But at the same time, I'm like, man, this sucks. You know, just, I mean, that's just my opinion. I just think that it kind of sucks, and you know, I do hope that we see, you know, some kind of something. I don't know, if you're unhappy about it, I say speak up. You know, that's the best bit of advice I can give you. Let them know. Maybe speak with your wallet. So, with that being said, I would love your guys' thoughts and opinions. I'm going to link this interview down below. You guys can check it out. Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Rack 'em up. Crapgamer out.
Unscripted.